'Tis the season for lightning bugs and fireflies, but wait, what do you call them? It's really one of those kind of depends on where you live, like soda pop, or maybe even soda pop. These things, lightning bugs and fireflies, they're the exact same thing. There's a lot of different species in between, but we're referring to the exact same thing. But depends on where you live, call them something different. Tend to be out towards the west, we call them fireflies. And then for much of the central plains, deep south, much of the Great Lakes, Ohio River Valley, we call them lightning bugs. A few folks in New England also call them fireflies as well. But what's interesting, I think lightning bugs kind of wins, because check out where they're even located. We don't have a whole lot of lightning bugs. There are a couple locations that are pretty cool, but really they like wetter climates. And typically the west is drier. When we're talking about summertime, Pacific Northwest, super wet, right, in the winter time, but it really depends more about the summertime. They like warm, humid climates. So there are a couple places out west and a couple good places too. But really, once you get east of the Rockies, now we're in lightning bug mode and lightning bug habitat. But there are different time periods of when we typically see lightning bugs, depending on where you live. Really has to depend with how warm and humid you can get after winter. Start coming out of the soil. A lot of it's due to our soil temperatures being well into the mid and upper 60s. And we start getting those kind of temperatures in the deep south, really in May. And by June, we start seeing more in the Tennessee River Valley and the Ohio River Valley, including right here in Indiana. Farther north, you really kind of wait to July for peak lightning bug season. A couple nuances to this though. There are lots of different species, and there are some that only live 5 days. Some live up to 2 months. So when we say peak lightning bug season, it's kind of a period of time. But really June is the month for Indiana. You can start seeing them in May, but it's really June when a lot of those species are active. And then we start kind of waning there in July. A lot of the species that live longer, you'll still see them in July. But June is our peak month. And typically, if you really want to get technical here, we get early June for peak lightning bug season. We're out of school, first couple weeks of summer. That is lightning bug season for the southern half of Indiana. Wait maybe just another week or two, really more mid-June for the northern half of Indiana. But this can kind of change a little bit depending on the year, really how wet or warm your spring was. And we typically have had, for 2025, we've really had a warmer and wetter spring for much of the Ohio River Valley. So we kind of moved these zones up just a little bit, starting to get into Tennessee there in May. We're still solidly in June, but it may be more early June. We'll have to see. But hopefully you have some great memories of seeing lightning bugs growing up, and hopefully you get some this year. Let's talk a little bit more about the science behind why are lightning bugs even lighting up. It's kind of a cool chemical reaction. So there towards their rear end where they're lighting up, luciferin, that's what they have. That's a chemical back behind. But they can bring in oxygen. They need oxygen just like we do, but they bring in oxygen, and how it flows into the insect kind of regulates how much oxyluciferin we create. Real creative, right? Let's just combine the two. This is what is glowing. So if they already have this, they let in the oxygen at times. It's still kind of a little bit of something that we're researching, how the firefly lightning bug lets in oxygen. Is it really controlling it? Is it something that's just very kind of in the back of their mind? Something that's just natural to them? There's a little bit more studying to do here, but this is the chemical that glows. So that's how they glow. Why are they doing it? Well, really, it's just to protect themselves for the babies and for the adults. So let's talk about the larvae. So what's kind of crazy is that they can kind of glow in the dark. I mean, they're in the ground. But let's say something was dug up, animal comes in, and there's a larva there. Predator sees the glow in the dark happening, and sometimes they're thinking, okay, I don't want this, because usually in nature, if something is glowing, it's not really a good sign. Maybe it doesn't taste good, or maybe it could kill you. Depends. Every kind of animal is different, or insect too. So they do it. It's really a protective thing for the babies and cautions away predators. There's a lot of species that consider lightning bugs taste bad. And so when the predators see the glow, they think, not touching that. Yeah, it looks cool, but I know better than that. But also it has to do with their mating. So what's kind of cool is every different species has a different pattern. And so when the males are looking at the females and females looking at the males, they're looking for that same lightning pattern. And so the females will be doing it, the males will be doing it. Like, hey, I'm one of you. let's mate. So that's how they're making their babies. They're using their pattern in order to kind of detect who's what out there in the wild. So that's pretty cool. A lot of the females tend to be on the grass, and a lot of the times the males are the ones flying around. But that's why they're doing it. It's pretty cool just to see, though. If you want to see more of them, possibly in your backyard, we do have a couple tips, because we've heard this a lot, and honestly, I feel the same way. Growing up in rural Indiana, saw them so many. As soon as school got out, it was awesome. Ride our bikes, even try to catch them. Now, if you're trying to catch them, a couple things to note. Make sure you keep the inside of the jar a little bit wet, maybe even put in a couple leaves or put in a napkin that's wet. That adds the humidity. Make sure you put some air holes in it, and don't keep them too long. You know, maybe capture them for a moment, show your parents or your kids kind of what's going on, and let them go. But that'll keep it just a little bit better as they're contained for a quick second. But there are a few things that you can do in order to increase lightning bugs. Avoid pesticides. That's really one reason, one of the few reasons why we don't see as many, because we use pesticides, right? So if you avoid pesticides, you may see other insects though, but the reduction in pesticides will help out. This is an easier one. Also depends on your HOA, if you're in a subdivision or a community where they're really regulating that, it is a little bit tough. But if you can cut your grass a little bit higher, or just if you've got maybe some rural space, you're out in the country, maybe leave some patches just unmowed. They'll love it. Also, turn off exterior lights. We would ask our parents to do that too, because it's harder to see when you've got some backyard floodlights maybe. Maybe they're motion detectives, all the kids running around trying to catch fireflies, they're kind of turned on. If you can turn those off, it'll help in order to see some of the lightning bugs. And they like it too, right? Because the light kind of confuses them. They're looking for other lightning bugs that are lighting up so they can mate. And then they can put their babies in the ground, and then next summer, they'll start to come out. Add a water feature, that'll help too. They really like humid areas, so if you've got maybe a pond or maybe some sort of water feature, that'll help. If you got a creek or something like that that's in your backyard or nearby, they love that. But that may also increase your chance of more mosquitoes and other insects you don't want. But if you want lightning bugs, got to do a couple of these things. Also, native plants really help out. Lightning bugs have been here for centuries, and so more of the native Indiana plants, those will just help. But another reason why we don't see as many is just growth, right? More houses, more roads, more towns getting bigger. So you reduce just the habitat, as with a lot of different animals or any kind of species like that. So those are some of the reasons why we don't see as many. But there are a couple ways that you can try to help your chance in order to see some. But June is our month in Indiana to see the lightning bugs flying around.